This week, the sun within us, consciousness life, activates the 29th I Ching. The transformational path of this frequency moves us from the shadow of half-heartedness to the highest vibration of devotion, and it's through the path of commitment. And this I Ching is all about the power of commitment. And postponement is when we have a mental idea or expectation about ourselves or of life. And if life doesn't appear to be moving in the direction of that mental construct, then our energy just withdraws from the present moment. And this is the dilemma of the 29th I Ching, the shadow of half-heartedness. The withdrawal from the present moment. It's all about our energy and the use of our life force. So the withdrawal from our life force can happen in a number of ways, depending on our character and our conditioning. So for the repressive type, we will most likely postpone our dreams in the fear of letting someone else down, or out of an addictive pattern of some form. So we continue doing something that hurts us, and that can be emotionally, physically, and or mentally. And it's because we don't know how to stop, and we get locked into a pattern, a life choice, a relationship, a career, whatever it is, and we become a victim of our own choices. Perhaps we put our own heart on hold for the sake of another person, our children, whatever it is, a mouse in one of those spinning wheels. And if we're more of the reactive type, the chances are we will quit what we started, or we might not even begin it at all. Either way, the shadow of half-heartedness means we don't take the plunge into true commitment, which is the great fear of this shadow. What's interesting, most people who are afraid of commitment often lead overcommitted lives. True commitment can only be to one thing, and that's the present moment. I know that sounds kind of mystical, but it's actually very profound when we contemplate it, because life is about making decisions, small and large, and it's about staying true to the cycles that come from those decisions. The ancient Chinese refer to this hexagram, this frequency, this 29th I Ching, as the abysmal, which has a deep relevance to us all. The bottom line is, we don't know where our decisions are going to lead. The 29th shadow is not happy about that at all. We have to listen to the yes inside us, and we have to trust in that above all else. So when we say yes to something, we're actually embarking on a journey of surrender, especially in our relationships. So half-heartedness is when we're not honest with ourselves and others, and that is when our life force withdraws. We postpone life because we're not living it fully. We unconsciously run ahead in our minds, and we're missing the moment. So true commitment involves deep trust in where we are right now. It involves turning inwards and a slowing down inside. We don't postpone life, hopping from one thing to the next on the surface. Commitment is always to the now. You can only be a genius now, not in the future. This 29th shadow has much of the world in its grips, and it robs us of our essence. So many relationships, for example, end before they're finished their natural cycle, and much of the wisdom of the world is missed because people don't know when to stop doing something that is hurting them. This 29th shadow is all about the fear of commitment, so let that sink in deeply. Whatever it is that we embark upon in life, what is the point in holding anything back? Yet this shadow will have us holding a part of ourselves back, and then we postpone our real destiny, which is to give of ourselves completely without expectations. It's amazing how deeply we fear this abyss, and what a tragedy it is that we miss the magic while we go on postponing the only thing in life that is essential, which is our presence in each moment. The 29th gift, the way to alchemize the shadow and raise the vibration, commitment. So we have seen how this shadow has great collective power. But we have to remember we're each geniuses, and genius is the hallmark of the gift vibration, and genius always breaks new ground. Life is dangerous and risky when it's viewed only from the mind. But the gift vibration is all about living from the heart, which means that risk is inherent, and this is what makes life fun and exciting. The programming partner here is the 30th I Ching, the gift of lightness. It's about having fun. And if you have this 29th I Ching in your energetic design, then one of your greatest lessons in life is to give of yourself totally to every experience. And this is the gift of commitment. People use the word commitment a lot, and many of us don't fully understand it. Like I said earlier, there's only one true commitment, and it's not to the future, it's to this present moment. How can we honestly commit to the future? It's not here, so our energy is not available to respond to it in the now. So how can we be authentic? We can only know our inner truth in the now moment. So commitment goes against social expectations and even morality. Commitment has its own wild morality. When our energy says yes to something or to someone, it shows its readiness to engage in a cycle of learning and evolution. Now, it doesn't mean that we need to jump into the abyss right away. There are inner cycles, particularly concerning desire. So when the 29th gift makes a clear decision, it doesn't make an emotional decision or an excited or nervous decision. Those kinds of decisions always come from the shadow. The gift makes a decision from a place of profound and quiet inner certainty. Think of the decisions that you have made from that space. So this 29th I Ching has a certain genius. It's about making luck. When we're not drawn into emotional or desire decisions, then we create the conditions for good fortune. We have a kind of built-in barometer for where good fortune lies, and we have no idea how it works or when it will come. We just know that life is our greatest ally, and our life force knows when something is right. This is a genius that extends itself naturally into the natural understanding of all relationships and their possible dynamics. So once we are freed from the whole postponement trap, we see deeply how that trap disturbed all relationships. So we want to naturally help others, not through interfering, rather through direct and heartfelt reflection, coming from our own natural, non-judgmental, and perhaps amoral wisdom. So much of this genius of this 29th I Ching is about letting go of our expectations. In truth, we're all on a mystery ride. We may think one decision leads in one direction, only to find that it leads in a quite different direction. All humans have this 29th I Ching, this genetic code inside, and it's attuned to our level of commitment, and that is something that can fluctuate. So the more we're anchored in a higher frequency of the heart, then the less we need to think our way in and out of life situations. You know, there are no mistakes in life, no incorrect decisions. The 29th gift inside each of us knows this above all, and it gives us a vast sense of inner freedom. The funny thing is, as we begin to taste this freedom, we realize how little external conditions actually have to do with true fulfillment. So when we realize that, we no longer postpone life, either from hopping from one thing to the next, or staying somewhere too long, somewhere that no longer serves us. We simply give of ourselves fully to the moment, and that's true commitment. Let me finish this gift vibration by saying something radical, what I've learned through life, the wisdom I've gained through my relationships. This 29th I Ching is part of the codon ring of union, which means it's a key to unlock the power of love through relationships. And here's what I've learned through pain, through trials and tribulations. that relationships blossom only through 100% commitment in the now. This is a deep and profound realization. It seems like a simple statement, but this statement can trigger fear and anxiety to many. 99% commitment is no different than 1% commitment. 99% is still half-heartedness. And it's amazing how many of us keep this little part of ourselves secretly hidden away in our relationships. And I'm not talking about verbal communications. I'm referring to our chemistry with someone. So this runs much deeper than words. You know, we hold a little bit back from our partner, and we do this deep inside because of a fear that's inside us. So contemplate, are you holding a part of yourself back in relationships, in connections with others? This can lead to many revelations by simply asking yourself the questions. Once I released this pattern in my relationship dynamics, everything changed. The challenges still exist, but the feeling inside changed. The key is to be 100% committed to your truth in the moment, in the now. It will ride out any storm. And it's not about the other person anymore. It's about leaping into the abyss with your eyes wide open. So I highly recommend to anyone on a self-love spiritual journey to stay in your relationships rather than jumping out when it gets too hard or too heavy. We just need to hold our nerves through the challenges and learn to keep our hearts open. Then we become a master of the universe. The only circumstances where you should absolutely leave a relationship is physical violence and abuse. Otherwise, we should give our relationships everything we have until we master the art of returning non-love with love. And that is the art that we bring into perfection in the 29th city, the highest vibration of devotion. The 29th city, the highest vibration, devotion. The 29th I Ching contains one of the highest teachings concerning relationships. It's deeply connected to the surrender of the lover into the beloved. We're all devotees to something. We just have to see what it is and transform it inside ourselves until something becomes everything or someone becomes everyone. The egoist is devoted to his ego, the salesman to his profits, the mother to her children, the murderer to his victim, the seeker to the truth, and even the depressive is devoted to his misery. This is the great mystery of the I Chings. The city vibration is present even in the shadow as a seed, and the journey is to allow that seed to sprout and grow until it finally flowers and bears fruit. Half-heartedness causes suffering, and that realization leads to commitment. And at a certain level, commitment itself becomes internalized until its true nature is revealed, and this is when commitment is transformed into devotion. The leap into the city can never be predicted. It's an act of divine grace. It occurs outside time and space. This 29th I Ching, this particular code in our DNA, is activated through the constant and deepening commitment to the present moment. And it manifests as devotion, which is the profound heartfelt knowing that love is the root nature of all reality. Love is the filter for everything. This insight moves deeper and deeper into our being until one day it detonates inside. The absolute worship of a god, guru, or loved one leads to a series of unavoidable breakthroughs. We move from half-heartedness to full-heartedness. Our frequency rises whenever we pour out our heart unconditionally to another being in service to the highest. The lover merges with the beloved, and all that is left over is love. That is the 29th city. I empower you this week to create space, get to higher awareness, notice your thoughts, feel all the sensations fully that come up in the body. Shine the light of awareness to your commitment to the present moment, to what's in front of you right now. Breathe in, breathe out. Remember, love yourself and choose to be blessed.